has an opportunity and desires to say a few words representing the class as is appropriate.
Thank you. I was told that we would be gone at 8 o'clock. So if you look at your watch, you cut this short. I can tell this is, I know what you're talking about now, about the glazed looks. On behalf of the 85th Texoma Regional Police Academy, I'd like to thank all the spouses.
Go sit in Poppy's lap.
Parents, grandparents, children, in-laws, not children-in-laws, but children, in my case, in-laws, for all your support and sacrifice in the last 21 weeks. 22 weeks ago, I was having lunch with a good friend of mine, John Wade, and he said, 21 weeks, that's a long time. And I said, nah, that's a short time. I was wrong. It was a long time. But in that long time, there were some things that we will remember. One of the things that we're really going to remember a lot is our driving. When we got to go out to the airport and just tear up some vehicles. We didn't total any vehicles. Like they did, the last class got to watch one of the vehicles roll over and over and over and over. We got to watch them spin in circles. But that was a really fun 4 days that we got to go out there. Another thing that we really looked forward to was firearms. We really looked forward to that. We got out there, and some people didn't look forward to it as much as others once we got out there. Some other things were the sayings that we learned. Mr. Blankenship said he wasn't going to talk about those, but some of those were, when in danger, another one that happened almost every day was, shut up. There are going to be some things that we're going to want to forget. Pepper spray. If you have not seen the videos of this, I wouldn't put that on my worst friend or my worst enemy. Another thing we would really like to forget is our taser experience. Yep. 8 hours of sitting in a classroom, about the size of where they're sitting right now, not much bigger. So we spent a lot of time doing that. I do have some college. I've got a couple degrees from Oklahoma State University. So I know what a classroom and time in a classroom as far as college is. And we had some courses like the penal code that could have been, if it would have been a college course, it would have been a 5-hour course for a whole semester. And you'd have had time, you'd have gone in 3 or 4 hours, 3 or 4 days a week to that class, had time to study. You know, about every 2 or 3 weeks, you'd have a small test over little bits of the penal code. But that's not what we got to do. We got to do a 5-hour course, a college credit course, and take a great big test over it. Same thing could happen with the CCP. There was just a whole lot that we could, if it was a college, if this was a college degree, it would be a bachelor's degree. It would take you that long to do what we did. It reminds me a lot of a course I had at Oklahoma State called ornithology. I did get to teach Mr. Blankenship something the other day, because when he was looking at my speech, he didn't know, he asked me that was the study of the heart. Does anybody know what ornithology is?
Birds. Birds.
Birds.
Study of birds. So it's a study of birds. So I had this class at OSU that was study of birds. And I put it off till my very last semester. I had a job already waiting as a naturalist with the Oklahoma State Parks up at Beavers Bend State Park. So I really needed to get that class done. So I signed up for it my last semester. And when I got to class, I sat where in the class? Back row. All the class knows that's where I sit. So I sat in the back row and just kind of was moving along because I thought, oh, I got to pass this. And the class had 2 tests. That was it. So the first test, I got up there and didn't study very much, didn't really pay, and I got like a 69% on the first test. So I was like, this is not good. I'm going to have to call Beavers Bend State Park and tell them that I can't come. You know, I'm going to have to take another semester and take this class again if I don't pass the final. So the final came up, and the teacher said the final is going to be bird identification. So I was like, no problem, bird identification. You can identify birds from their eggshells. You can identify birds from their songs. You can identify birds from their flight patterns, from their wings, from their feathers. There's just so many things. You can even identify them from their droppings. But, so I'm studying all this stuff, and I'm ready. I go into that class, I go into that test, and I'm ready. And the teacher's handing out the test, and the teacher always likes to go and turn them upside down. And so the student had turned over, and I'm watching everybody in front of me, and they're going, oh. And I'm like, it's eggshells. I got it, it's eggshells. I'm going to pass this class, I'm going to go to work, everything's going to be good. And then the next person to pick up theirs, and I was like, oh, it's songs. It's bird songs. So they've got songs on there, and I'll be able to pick out which bird it is. They keep handing back, it gets to me, he turns it over, and I turn it, and I look at that test, and it's bird legs. And there's 3 pictures of bird legs on that stinking test. And it wasn't like a goose, and an eagle, and a sparrow. Every one of them looked exactly alike. And so I sat back there, and I just looked at that, and the longer I looked at it, the madder I got. And the madder I got, the more I thought, man, this is not good. So I walked up front, and I put my test down on the desk, and I started to walk out, and the professor picked it up, and he says, hey, there's no name on here. Who are you? And I said, you tell me. Y'all are going to wonder if that's really true. But what I want to say to you all is don't let what we've accomplished go to waste. Don't be discouraged in your efforts in finding a position in law enforcement. It took us 21 weeks to get to this point. Keep knocking on doors, one will open.